Speaker.
Yes.
Well, before I met you and before I continue, menu awal I can send me na mede tuja. Say there's nowhere a movement for change any NDC about poor at NPP. We campaigned under the aegis of a government of national unity and under the aegis that there is a duopoly formed in our fourth republic. And 32 years near your economic freedom near independence. Until the Ghana or Hoana until Sasama our Becca or Hanode and Yanokre into at for the more fun serious but a propaganda. Of course, thinking, sir, or more Lucy this election with such huge numbers to the NDC. No, that may dream say maybe no, I reflect it, have some introspection on why they lost. But still no cry no. You see a count here debi now. We better ube Sisi ano. Omu regret it. Oshe omu posture na. They've not regretted their actions. Inti sa kasa na oka no. Anya no kre da. We are against the duopoly. We still have that stance, and that is why we are still relevant in today's political landscape. We were not created just for the election, but we were created for Ghana. Say yede Ghana ebeko nenim. Entino NDC for also sano. Omaba abai no. We will checkmate them. We will make sure say ombedi so. Entina yera Honorable Alan Kojo Tramantin.
Yes.
Mama Winnie no okoshiano. Etunufu.
Yes.
And our man the GTP the Great Transformational Plan. And our catcher and say, so pair always consult me based on your discretion. Consult me. Na yentimi nye juma na Ghana ehu here. The fact say we lose the election doesn't mean that Ghana should go back. That ideology no, that repugnant ideology ye political landscape enu na ekuye no. And then utimi who's a market baby there's a lot of arson in our markets, deliberate to frustrate this current government. A idea say ye jai na ye share Ghana interest. Okay. Appointments no me share a bit of interview, especially with that of Honorable John Jinapo.
Yes.
Na Metimaka say he's a young person. He has been a deputy minister for energy before. And in Sema Oyi, I think that I'm very convinced with his erudition when it comes to the energy sector.
Okay.
Experience. I'm very, very convinced. But of course, our experience, not our idea. Of course, execution is what would matter. Yehu yera baumia. Oti ase yewa ba me a kire ye nyansa pa entitisi ano obi a obeba abeka brofo kese ewo TV su na wayi ensemanum akasa kama na afedie want me anyo juma no na result na airport or there ye fan chaw entinu what we can say is say we wish him well, but or the ensemble bebre etudwa I agree with him.
Okay.
Number one is the privatization of ECG. It's very, very clear. Say ECG is highly indebted. Our share or more revenue shortfall is about 40%. What you here? It's about 40%. Intino sisiano say aban edi sikabekwa ko to ECG mu na etimi as supplementary or more deficit no there. Enye ye because today we are overburdened. Coming from an economy that is recovering from an Akufo-Addo Bawumia regime, no, it's an economy that needs some, I would say, key interventions to revive it. It is our word now, Mahama UCN. In theory, it makes sense, but of course, as obe to me achieve sa reset no de time will tell. Uti the make no speaker. Into no energy sector no ECG no omo to me privatize here. ECG can raise capital from the private enterprises, right? Easily. And then the management and then the what do you call it? The marketing of ECG need the keka hono. It should be privately owned. Me and Kaminya, every region be a bewo ni company.
I be managing
the electricity
in that
marketing and distribution.
I see.
Second to that, the diversification of our energy source. And I liked his response. Say, share Ghana CC energy source over 57% of your energy source no your thermal plants.
Yes.
It is not sustainable and it's not reliable because you cry crude. What you say? Crude no so you cry no $1 mu. Your seed no is highly depreciated. Uti the mechano. Into no that input no into the thermal plants no is very very expensive. So we need to look for a cheaper solution. And the fact say nuclear energy ebe PMO ahona me who say no, this man is up to something. Uti the mechano. Oshe GTP more we introduce the idea say Ghana should diversify its energy source in line with the sustainable development goals. And then ahodo bebre no omo banks akese the World Bank, IMF ni na no omo climate financing.
Yes.
Oti ase intino funds yes omo finance projects etimi reduce carbon emission. Intino say yetimi chitre policy Ghana we can go nuclear, and nuclear can substitute that 57% of your thermal power plants are omoma electricity no. Okay. And it will be efficient and it will be very very reliable. Osha cost sika ye kra over $1 billion ye kra ye pumping into your thermal plants now. Enko ye minua Osha and the legacy data over $3 billion. Now sometimes me junwa mintiasie in 2015 ESLA was introduced.
Yes. To
support the energy sector. Debt. Yes, in terms of debt recovery, need the account and recovery from debt. No. As a mekasano, as a 2023, no, ESLA was able to raise cumulatively 36.49 billion Ghana cedis. Inti se we to raise iskawe nini na how say your data accrued to 3 billion Ghana cedis. That is a question that we have to ask Nana's People's Party, not the NPP. Minua, not the NPP, Nana's People's Party, because the NPP are nimuno. And I know my advice to the NPP communicators: if you are going about defending the NPP, you should refer to the track record of President Kufuor. You can never ever refer to the track record of Nana Akufo-Addo because it's not pleasant. You cannot defend the track record of Mahmoud Bawumia ni Nana Akufo-Addo. Oshe macroeconomic indicators krana enkoye intiminua the American say with the energy sector no ehun here say you be diversify.
Okay, now we see for mama.
Inclusion of solar very very critical. There eka hone say yet me TBB about the nominee for finance. Me person make way to edra na or make certain recommendations for your fiscal policies no. Adia ya me there pa ne say there's no synergy between the central bank and then the Ministry of Finance when it comes to managing our economy.
Yes.
Your central bank no manage the monetary policy. The government the government no manages the fiscal policy no. There's no synergy. Into who they be na omo policies no and related.
Okay.
What did they make no? Into say ye betimidi omo aboma in terms of the spirit of working well to enhance economic development and prudent economic management ebetima boy sikasem. Ushe financing to SME now as at last year, okay, your financing to SME, no, credit to SME was about 12.3%. Domestic credit to SME was about 12.3%, which is lower than the sub-Saharan Africa average of 35.8%.
Okay.
Ushe SME Susana, 90% of the jobs are created by the SME.
That's it from Mammy. Now,
Asema is say when he is going to remove the taxes now, he is going to create a problem in the sense that me just say betting tax they say e-levy no ni COVID-19 levy no it has to be strategic because now no government is out of the international capital market. Borrow.
Yeah.
Into where do you turn to? Domestic. Your domestic capital market. If you are going to compete with private enterprises for borrowing now, it's a problem.
Okay.
Because banks no or loan to government because it's safer.
It's secured.
Secured. Into that means the government private sector no competing for financing, and we believe the private sector should be the engine of growth.
Okay.
That is why we've advocated for an enterprise economy.
Okay.
Into no fiscal policies no na sebeya yentimi emfa policy but so that we can even cap the amount of money our banks ebetimia ama government in terms of borrowing so that the private sector no benya sika edi akoye juma. Oti dey make am.
But as a doc, I'll get back to you. I know you're Dr. Ramzi Inusah, member, senior communication team member for Movement for Change.